Hi everyone, it's Kristi. Welcome back. We are working on our Quaint Pink Roses Soft Spine journal. Don't need those staples. I have gone ahead and sewn in the two signatures, and I'll go through those with you. I used the wrong pin to mark my stitching holes. So when we're finished, I'll probably put a piece of lace, maybe really thin lace, maybe something like this, over the top of this to cover, just so it doesn't show those little blue dots, because I wasn't expecting it to go all the way through the fabric. I usually use a pencil, and I had been writing with this Papermate flare pen, and I just grabbed it and used it, and of course it bleeds, so don't use a flare pen when you're marking your holes. Anyway, yeah, so I've got those sewn in. What I've done, and I'll show you how this, because the fabric moves, everything lays down nice and flat. Now it's not completely flat because there's bulk here, but it lays down pretty flat for writing. It's nice. Then there's about a ½ inch between the signatures, and yeah, everything lays down nicely. Now it's a little wiggly at the moment, so it kind of looks like the pages are sewn in a little bit crooked, and I don't remember that happening last time. So the pages are straight in the book. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Maybe when I fill it in, it will be fine. However, if it continues to bug me, you know, looking askew, I may add some lace to the bottom, and then that'll take care of that problem. So I chose these background. Now I did trim these down to 5 inches in width by the height of the page. I didn't trim down the height, so they are level, and I wouldn't have had that wiggly issue if I had trimmed them down. But you can see right here, now this is because the spine is wiggly, this kind of skews over here. Once it gets full, I think we'll be okay. But I have trimmed them down to well, 10 for the whole piece, but so that folded it's 5 by 8.5. I found some Edith Holden. I had purchased an Edith Holden, I believe it's a memoir. No, it's not a memoir, it's just a biography, but it has some of the plates in it, in color, and I found one for primroses, and of course they're all pink, so I chose those. But as I was going through, I started reading that there were questions about her death being an accident and all this stuff, and now I'm intrigued. So my next book that I'm going to be reading is that Edith Holden biography. I gotta find out what happened. So anyway, totally side note, but this is what that's from. It has August here, and I'm going to cover that. Because I trimmed off ½ inch from all the pages, I'm going to make some paper ribbon with those, and I will probably put a piece of paper ribbon there. I've got coffee dyed / tea dyed paper, maybe both. Another one of the backgrounds. I've got a doily. Now I did print just a plain splattered background on the back of these, and this is not in the collection, but I'm going to list this. I'll add this to the files section. In fact, let me make a note to add the background to the files section on my Facebook page. And I have a doily here, another piece of coffee paper, another one of the background pages. This is the one with the music on it. I've got a hymn page and another coffee dyed paper And then this one for the center, I chose this one for the center because that's my favorite page. I've added a little bit of kind of an off-white ecru, if you will, piece of lace. This is very thin. I know it's cotton, but it's not as thick as some of these other ones. It's very, very flat. So there again, coffee dyed paper, the hymnal page, designer page, coffee dyed doily, and this is the one with the script. Another coffee dyed, the back of the Edith Holden, and this one says dog roses, but I think the dog roses must be at the top because this is honeysuckle here. And then we've got the butterflies. Here's the beginning of the second signature with, yeah, so there's the dog roses. And some coffee dyed paper. Another one of the background pages. Doily, coffee dyed. This is the plain ledger paper. I really liked that. And like I said, I did print them all with that same background. Hymn page, coffee dyed. And there's the center I chose for this, which is the same as we had for the cover. And another coffee dyed, the hymnal, and that was totally by accident. I didn't realize there were two songs on the back of that. It came out perfect. Yeah, the back of the ledger page, and you can see where I've cut it off because it used to say 114 or 144. And the doily, the other background page, the Edith Holden, some more of the roses, and then this almost looks like it's one continuous page this way. So there we go. That's the back of that. So it lays pretty flat now, but like I said, there is nothing in it. So let's start putting some stuff in it. The first thing that I guess I want to do today is the front and back pockets. So I've got some paper here I want to work with. I've chosen these. These were the journal card on the ephemera sheets, and you know how I am. I want to check now because these should be 5.5 inches wide, so I want to narrow these down. I'm gonna have to trim them down. There again, about 1/2 inch. So I'll probably do a 1/4 inch off each side. I can go ahead and do a 1/2 inch on that side. I might need to do a tad more because I don't want it going into the spine. So let me get my cutter. Okay, so let's do, instead of a 1/2 inch, let's do 3/4 of an inch off. And I'll save that. You never know when it might come in handy. I'm going to do a 1/4 inch off this side. I don't want to do too much. I'll go ahead right up to the edge of that butterfly. And so how wide are these now? Guess I need to pull out my ruler. These are 4 1/4. So I want to make this 4 1/4. And I'm going to lose some of my butterfly. You know what? I'm going to trim this at 4 1/2 and see what happens. Might be able to make it fit on the back page at 4 1/2. I'd like to have at least one whole butterfly over there. Okay, now we can pull in the envelope punch board, and like I said, this is 4 1/2, so I want 2 1/4 to be the middle, and punch. And then on this one, it's 4 1/4, so I want 2 1/8 for the center, like so. All right, and I think that should work well. Oh, we have those same butterflies there, so we can put, yeah, that'll fit. That'll fit fine on that one. Okay, so let's go ahead and ink around these. I am using the Vintage Photo. I'm going to add glue on 3 sides here. And I'm going to go right inside that edge about, well, a little over a 1/16 of an inch. That's not going to run into the spine or anything like that. I probably could have done the 4 3/4. Okay. Only thing that's going to happen is I'm going to have to trim my tags down a little bit, but that's okay. We were going to have to trim them down anyway. A little bit. Alright, I am going to add this here. Yeah, plenty of room. And I did cover up a little bit of that flower, but that's okay because the tag is going to cover it all up anyway. Alright, so these tags are, I'm going to set this aside to dry for a minute while we talk tag. These tags, that already feels less floppy just from putting the pockets on there. These tags are 4 inches. And they are 8 1/4 inches tall. So the book, if they are inside the pocket, they're going to stick out just a tad. But I've got a huge angle here, which, you know, is fine. I don't mind it, but I'm thinking I don't want to trim off the bottom here. Now, sometimes what I'll do if I'm using a paper that has kind of a random design is I'll just cut off the bottom 2 inches, flip it over, and make a pocket on the back. But I don't want to make a pocket out of just the leaves. So I want to leave this design here. So I think what I'm going to do is take 1 inch off the top, and then I'm going to take 1/4 of an inch off of the sides, just so it fits comfortably in the pocket. I think they would probably fit. In fact, the 4 1/2 will probably fit that one. In fact, well, let's just check. But I'm going to trim off the top of these tags first. Trim them off about 1 inch. Well, maybe 3/4. Let's do 3/4 because I want it to still look like a tag. And that kind of looks like a stock tag. And we can save this because this would make an excellent tab on the edge of a page. So let's do another one at 3/4. And if we want to, we could fix that angle. No problem. But sometimes, you know, we just want to mix it up and see. Do something new. Alright, so let's see how this fits in this pocket. Oh yeah, that one fits fine. I don't want to leave it in there because it will be stuck because the glue's not dry. But that one will fit fine. This is not going to fit in the front one, however. So I do want to trim down a little bit. So just on one, let's see, I kind of like that grungy edge there, so I think I'll trim, well, this one has a grungy edge too, but I think I'll just trim that down 1/4 of an inch on each side. And that will take off my corners. again, you wouldn't have to trim this down if it fits in the pocket, obviously. All right. I am going to go ahead and make this angle a little bit bigger, maybe from that red line, and I'll use that as a guide for doing the other ones. And flip it over. Ah, it moved on me. Yeah, I don't think it's too bad. That didn't come out right at all. Okay, let's try that again. That is not even at all. I don't know what I did. Maybe my image is askew. Alright, that looks better. Alright, I will just do it like this. Needs to go a little bit more in. I know I'm making a bigger deal out of it than needs be. It's how I roll. Alright, so let's ink these. And then we'll find some fiber to put in the top. Now, I'm just going to use this hole punch for now. Alright. So, I've got this little, where did it go? Here we go. This is what I put in the center of the signatures, and I really like it. So, let's do 6 inches. We joke around here that, because I have always made my little ties for my tags used a 6-inch piece, and on Elf there's that whole scene about her trying to make curly ribbons, and she's making them too long, and he's yelling at her for not using the 6 inches. So every time I make a tag, I think of that scene of the movie, 6 inches. First time I saw Elf, I thought that was the dumbest movie I had ever seen. And we watch it every Christmas, and it's kind of one of those movies that gets funnier the more times you've seen it. First time I watched Princess Bride, I was like, well, that was weird. And, practically know it by heart. I've seen it so many times. Oh, goodness. Okay, so now we've got our tags. So that'll stick out the top of our book, which is fine with me. And I don't think those will be too tall because we cut off that 1 inch off the top. So let's get those in here. The skinny one will go in here. Perfect. There we go. Yeah, perfect. Exactly how I wanted it. And this one's a little bit wider. There again, I printed out that splatter background on all of these so that you can journal. Looks like I need a little bit more glue on the corner here though. This pocket's coming off. Didn't go all the way to the top. That happens. We will fix it. My 3-in-1 is getting really sticky, so I added a little bit of acetone. I've not done that before, so I mean it's not like the glue will shake, So I just kind of, it's the bottom of this bottle I want to get out the rest of the glue. I've got about a ½ an inch. Well, you can see I've got about a little bit of glue in there that I want to get out. I don't want to waste any of it. It's too expensive. So actually I'm going to leave this here, but it should, if I put it in, yeah, it's going to stick out the same way. But since I've got that piece of glue right there, I don't necessarily want to stick it in there yet. So I'll wait. Alright, so the next thing we want to do, we've got our front and back pockets with the large tags, is I want to make a couple of, and I may come back and add lace. I found this pretty lace and I think I want to add this to the bottom of the pockets. So I guess we could do that, but I'll do it when I get the envelopes done, because I'm going to use the same thing for the envelopes. So I'm going to use the punch board for the envelope. Now, so I've got two, both of these have the script. This one has some brownish lace, and then this one has the flourish. It reminds me of ironwork, but I'm thinking that would be pretty as the flap. So that's what I use for the flap there. And then on this one, yeah, that might be pretty for the flap. I think I like this corner better. So when you're putting it on the punch board, that's the corner that's on the bottom left. So let's trim these down. I'm going to use the 8½ inch square. I want to use the height of the page. So let's see, I want to keep that side. So let's get this at 8½. Save that. Never know where you might want to use it. And let's get this other piece. I think I'll keep the bigger piece here. This one is a smaller area. So there again, 8½. Okay, so we've got two pieces of paper, 8½ inches square, and we're going to get our punch board in here. Now we have some options, and I've marked them so I can remember where they are. With an 8½ inch square, you can make a 5 by 5½ envelope, a 4½ by 6 envelope, or a 3 by 7½ envelope. And I think I want to do the 4½ by 6. So I have to take off my glasses so that I can read this. I need to go online and see if I can find a larger version of this that I can print out, because I have a hard time seeing these over here. But this is an 8½ inch square, and it looks like it's 3 3/4 for the beginning score. Okay, and then of course this is 4 1/8, and this one's 2 5/8. So it's not the size, it's both the size of the paper and where you start your scoring that makes the final result in the envelope size. So, all right, so I need my glasses back on. Yes, so if I want this to be my flap, I'm going to start with that in the bottom left. And I'm going to score this at 3 3/4. Find my scoring tool, and I'm going to punch and score. I'm using the bigger end of this because I'm using paper. I don't want to tear through. I'm going to rotate, and I don't know if you can see this, but I'm lining up this score guide with this score line that I just made, and I'm going to punch and score, rotate. There again, you don't ever have to measure after that first time. You just want to line that up, punch and score, and then one more time. It is sometimes hard to see that line, so I have to get it right in the right light. Punch and score. Alright, so there's one. Okay, appears I've run out of time. While you were gone, I made a mistake. So, I scored on the wrong line, and I don't know why. I got a little confused because the paper had a previous fold in it, so we'll use that for something else. So let's try this again. I have 8.5 by 8.5. I'm putting this in the bottom left corner because I want to use that for my flap, and I'm going to start at 3 3/4 here and punch and score. Rotate, line up that score line, punch and score, rotate, punch, score, and one more time, punch and score. Okay. I think I started out right. I don't know how I confuse myself. Sometimes it just doesn't take much. All right, so I'm going to start with this one and fold on those score lines. Now, these score lines, because I use the larger ball tip, are not as easy to see. So, all right. So that's where we want that to be. That's going to be that envelope. Get my bone folder and flatten this out. That looks nice, and we can do a little collage or something here. Okay. Same thing here. Fold this in. There we go. So I'll probably use this as the flap. And then that will have a little bit of butterflies on this side. So, all right, that's what we want to do. That's the way I want it. Now, I will just line this up here where this comes in and where this comes in. I'm just going to kind of draw a line across with my scoring tool, and then I'm going to fold that under. You can cut it off if you like, and then I'll put a little bit of glue on that. Same thing here. Just going to, where this comes together, just score a little line and tuck it under. Okay. You know what? Before, well, I'm going to go ahead and glue this little triangle down, but before we glue the whole envelope together, I'd like to go ahead and ink. And the main reason for that is it's really hard to get the pieces inside the envelope if you put it together first. So, excuse me, we will go ahead and ink it first. So these are going to attach to the page with a clip. So I'll probably do them like this. Wow, that worked out perfectly because the handwriting is the right way up. Okay, so I think I want to just do a little cluster to decorate these. So I'm going to find my ephemera sheet here, and I'm going to use a couple of these tickets, and I want to use a couple of the butterflies. So I'm just going to trim that out. Like so. And I'll go ahead and trim these butterflies off so I can get to them better. Okay. Let's see, I want to use this one and this one. All right, now on the tickets, go ahead and score these. Guess I should trim off this little white piece here. I'm not sure if these are going to line up perfectly with the 1 inch because I printed them out on borderless, but that doesn't really matter. You basically just want to score between, you know, halfway through that semicircle. So yeah, so I'm just going to line it up where I think it should be. I'm not going to worry about the measurements. I'm just going to go halfway through that semicircle. And if they're not perfect, that's okay. Let me turn this around so I can stay on camera for you. There we go. All right, so then I'm just going to fold accordion style like that and use my bone folder. So we've got tickets. I'm going to go back the other way just to give it more flexibility. And then I am going to punch the holes. This works better with my crop dial. So just going to fold those up. Well, I'm going to fold it the way I can see where the semicircles are. And use the 3/16 to punch that. And if there's any white still showing, we'll just add a little ink and it will disappear. Now just cut off those little sharp pieces if there's any little points. So there we go. Now we've got a row of tickets and we can ink these. So those other ones will come into play at another time. All right, I've got a mess here now. I need to cut out these butterflies. So I am going to cut these butterflies out. So let's have that way and that way. We can put a little ticket there. I think I'll go ahead and use these butterflies that are here as part of the cluster. And we've got a butterfly here, butterfly here. I need a little bit of bling. So one. And it also helps with placement if you get your hand going the right way. There we go. Because working with this little bling can be fiddly. Okay, so let's put some of this trim in there. I think that'll be fun on the ticket. I didn't even know I had this. I don't even know where it came from. It happens all the time. All right, so we've got that like that, and then I think we could just put the butterfly right on top, like that. Very simple, but effective. The only thing I want to do something else over here. I think I want to put a little bit of paper. I'm going to take a little bit of this envelope here and just tear some of this to put on the edge there. All right, so I'll put it down. Let's see. Do I want to put it from the top there? Yeah. Cool. I wish I had some of that eyelash trim. I had a bunch of it, and I have gray, but I had a bunch of this really fabulous, you know, light mocha color, and I used it all, and I really like it. I haven't been able to find any that's close. Okay, so we've got our two envelopes. Let's put those in our book. We can go ahead and put that tag in now, because I'm sure this is nice and dry. So get that in there. And like I said, I think I might come back and add some of this lace trim to the bottom of this. But I'll probably do that when I decorate the cover. So let's go ahead and put this in. I like it. Go ahead and go from the back to the front. That is a good size envelope. So for 8.5 by 8.5, make sure I find two that are not connected together. If I just try to pull one out of the box, they're always connected. Okay, so yeah, I like that. And we'll go to the other side of the other signature and do the same, like so. Okay, and we're on our way. Yeah, it already feels less flippy floppy. So I think we'll be okay. And then I'm going to probably just use an eyelet here for a closure with some seam binding. But yeah, next time we will be back to make some more. We're not making s'mores. We'll do some corner pockets and some, I want to do some wraparound envelopes, the vertical ones, because I've done those before and I really like those. So anyway, I hope you'll join me. I'll be back. Thanks for watching.